Hello, dear friends. Today we are going to see or discuss about editorial. Let us now know some aspects of editorial writing. The editorials are part of print media like newspapers, magazines, journals. This unit example provides examples of the editorial writing only from the newspapers. That means that we are not going to discuss on the editorial of electronic media. We are just going to discuss some editorials as an example, or what kind of a editorial writing is from the newspapers only. Generally, the basic question arises in someone's mind or in our mind, that what is an editorial exactly? An editorial is a type of journalistic writing that deals with topic of contemporary relevance from the critical point of view. It means that it is a critical kind of writing. Critical means not exactly criticizing on a particular topic, and this criticism is narrated through the words. It is not so. It is a critical writing. It is an approach to see towards the particular issue. It may be a state level, it may be a national level, it may be an international level issue of an editor. He composes all his thoughts and publish in the newspaper. So this is a kind of writing, journalistic writing, that deals with a topic of contemporary relevance. There should be a relevance in a contemporary era from the critical point of view. It is written from the critical point of view. It's not the direct criticism, but there is an approach, critical approach of that particular editor in it. An editorial differs from other newspaper writings. An editorial contains interpretation and opinion of the newspaper, not essentially of the editors as a person. Whereas other newspaper writings include informative, narrative, and descriptive account of an event. There is a difference between other newspaper writing and editorial. Sometimes it is the opinion of the group, that is governing body of the particular newspaper. This governing bodies opinions are generally reflected in the editorials. Sometimes it is a critical appreciation of the particular event made by the editor itself, but it differs from a regular newspaper writing. Other newspaper writing include informative, narrative, or descriptive account of an event. Reporting is a different thing, and editorial is a different thing. Editorial writing is a critical attitude, critical opinion of a particular event, relevant event in the state, in the nation, in the world. Now, what is the importance of editorial? An editorial can be said as the mouthpiece of the publishing company. Suppose there is a newspaper of Pudari. Pudari you might have read many times. This is the famous newspaper of Maharashtra. There are many newspapers like Lok Satta, Maharashtra Times, and others. So all these newspapers are the mouthpiece of the publishing company. Just like Samna is the mouthpiece of a publishing company, that is Shiv Sena. The editorials spell out the stand taken by the newspapers on the issue of public interest. There are many public interest issues. You might have heard about the reservation of Maratha community in recent days. This is the matter of public issue, public interest issue. The strength of Maratha community is almost high in Maharashtra, and that's why they want reservation for their own caste. Whether it is possible or not, it depends on the attitude and approach of the government and judiciary board, that is court. So there are some public interest issues, and such publishing companies put their own opinion before the audience or the readers or the society. The political leaning of the newspaper are also reflected through the editorials. There are some political up and downs, and these upheavals of political issues are generally reflected by the editorial, by the editor particularly, and that may be the opinion of the publishing company also. Editorials are characteristic features of newspapers. Editorials are a means of attracting readers to the newspapers. A good editorial is both thought-provoking and readable. There are many newspapers who have good editorial. There are some newspapers having nice editors and their nice editorial writing. Lok Satta is a very famous newspaper for its editorial. There are some editorials. Nowadays, I cannot say about something about Samna, the newspaper, but when in the last decade of 20th century, the editorial of Samna was very good. So editorial generally attracts the readers to the newspaper. Some newspapers are known for their editorials. The students preparing for competitive examinations are advised to read the newspapers and its editorials. You might have known about competitive examinations. There is a center of competitive examination in our college also. So lot of knowledge is there in the editorial. And if you read editorials regularly, definitely will come to know almost all about the world around you. What is going on, what is happening around you, which are the sensitive issues, which are not sensitive issues from the social point of view. So all these things you will come to know by reading only editorials of a particular or some important newspapers. So generally, for the students of competitive examinations, they are advised to read editorials of different newspapers so that they can gain maximum information from these editorials. Editorials are generally written using first person plural pronouns. First person plural pronouns. We, our. First person singular pronoun is I. First person plural pronoun is we. Second person singular you. Second person plural you. Third person singular he, she, it. And third person plural they. So we and our is generally used in the editorial. Editorials are precise and well organized. Whole the paragraph written in the newspaper as an editorial are well organized and precise, specific, you can say, taking into account the time available with the readers. An editorial is of maximum 500 words. Editorials are generally maximum with 500 words, not more than that. It should not be lengthy. People should not get bored by reading these newspapers. Sometimes people are trying to avoid to read these editorials because some editorials are really useless. You cannot even agree with that editorials, and that's why you generally start to omit reading such kind of editorials. Taking into account the time available with the readers, an editorial is of maximum 500 words. Newspapers also have somewhat lengthy editorials on special occasions like Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary celebration, for instance. The editorials written by the specialist working with the newspapers are published in the name of the editor. Sometimes it happens. The editorials written by specialists working with the newspapers generally are published in the name of editors. Actually, the editor did not write this editorial, but another person who has written, and the person who is associated with the particular newspaper, then his writing is published as an editorial written by an editor. There are some lengthy editorials on the specific occasions of Mahatma Gandhi Jayanti or Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar's birth anniversary and death anniversary. So these occasions are quite important in our social context, and that's why some moral lessons or some moral ethics are shared with the society through that editorials. So in brief, editorial is a critical kind of writing on the current issue, social issue especially, of the contemporary era, and that editorial is maybe the opinion of the group of publishing company. The editorial may be the opinion, political opinion of the publishing company or the particular editor, But editorial is quite important thing in the newspaper that one should read carefully. We will see remaining part of the characteristics of editorials in my next video. Till then, thank you.